guys! I'm so excited! I found some of my old toys from years ago. Can you see it? Can you see the big box? Big box. Yes. The combo microwave oven with grill browning function was my whole childhood. Ooh. Just kidding. So, I don't know what you guys had as toys, but I had a few toys that stick out pretty clearly to me. I had the talking toilet that had like little eyes, and he sang and he told funny like bathroom jokes. I don't know why I remember that one so much, but I also have my Furby and my Tamagotchis. You know, all the normal stuff. I guess the toilet wasn't so normal, but I had all the normal like girly stuff from the 90s. I had the cartwheel Kathy or whatever. That doll was cool. I did say I hated dolls in my previous video, but I did like that doll because she wasn't like a baby doll. She was like a toddler. She was like a girl that like she was dressed up as a cheerleader and she did cartwheels. I don't know. But my all-time favorite toy as a child, could not get enough of these things, were stretch screamers. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Anyone? Anyone? No? Just me? Okay. Well, this box is full of them. And they were my favorite thing as a child. Let's just see what we have in here. So like I said, stretch screamers were my favorite toys as a child. I remember that they didn't have one of them in the stores, and Cat, don't do that! Cat's trying to eat my stretch screamers. Anyways, so yeah, I had like pretty much all of them, I think. But yeah, I think the Frankenstein one, it wasn't in stores and they weren't going to be getting it in stores or something like that, so I had my dad buy it for me off of eBay and waited for it, and I remember I was in like kindergarten and I got off of school and my dad picked me up, because he picked me up every day, and waiting in the car for me was the big box of you know, screamers were for me. Like, I got them for my birthday, I got them for Easter, just because, like, I loved these things. So, let's see what we got here. So, if you guys don't know what stretch screamers are, they're just, like, toys. They're just dolls. They've got, like, plastic hands, plastic legs, but then their bodies and arms are stretchy, and werewolf fell down. Now this was, all these right here are like the first series, but yeah, I think their kind of attempt with these toys were, like, don't be scared of monsters because you can make them scream instead of the other way around, kind of like that. But yeah, they stretch and they did scream. All the batteries are like dead because they've been away in the closet for some time, and then all of them have, I can't even get this to work anymore. Here, let's see if we can get, okay, yeah, that one's got a hole in it, but yeah, these things are old, but anyways, you would pop the little dude and he's supposed to, oh, come on, there we go. So all of them have that. Ghostface is in his mouth, and he's apparently leaking, so I'm not gonna squeeze him. The mummy is in his eye. Frankenstein, he did have it in his head, which, yeah. And then Werewolf has it in his cheek, Yeah, like I said, I loved these things. I don't even think he still has his squeezy thing, but I remember he was getting like a slight tear in it, so, you know, 5-year-old me decides to, you know, that my monster needs a Band-Aid. Jimmy Neutron Band-Aid, to be specific. But I was that kind of kid. Oh, my monster's hurt. I need to put a Band-Aid on him. I was just that weird of a child. I also remember, I told you guys about my creepy baby doll experience in one of my earlier videos. I hated dolls, but I had like all the doll accessories. I had like this baby carriage, and I remember specifically it was the Mummy. I was at my grandma's one day and I was playing with him, and I don't know if I found the baby carriage at her house or if I already had it, but I did have one of the baby carriages that, you know, you could, like the olden time ones, like it was a cart and you could push it. And so I think we were going to Walmart, and I was like, oh, you know, little kids usually like put baby dolls like in the basket, or, you know, like they bring their dolls everywhere with them, and it's super cute and everything. Well, I hated dolls. I was not your typical 5-year-old child, typical 5-year-old girl. I brought my Mummy Stretch Screamer, and I put him in the baby carriage, and I pretended like he was the baby, not an actual baby. And I think I remember we were in the aisle, and I don't know if she was like a friend of my grandma's or just like a really friendly old lady, but she came up and she was trying to like play along, like, oh, look at your baby, and then she like pulls back the blanket I had in there, and she was like, what? Yeah, I was a weird child. But no, I loved the crap out of these things. And I have more, so let me go set them up and get them. Alright, so here is my full collection of Stretch Screamers series, and we've got this guy, we have this sea creature, who was also one of my favorites. He is not standing up very well. We've got the Cyclops, and then we've got the alien. And I can kind of show better with the alien because he's got a barrier in case his ooze, his ball, is broken. As you can see, they're really watery. They're not, see, yeah, there we go. It, did not look like that before. Cat, get out of here. Out, away. So then, I don't really remember what came next. I know they had a, like typically their series would be, you know, in fours. These four, these four, these four, I'll get into that later, and then, yeah. I know they had a Bugs series. I never got into the Bugs because I thought that was just stupid. I was like, whatever. They had these guys, which were, oozy guys. They oozed goo. They have little capsules in the back, and then you put the goo in there, and then you put the cap on, and then you could squeeze them, and green ooze would come out of these little holes. I thought, there was also 4 of these, but I only got these 2 because I seriously thought that these 2 were the crappiest of the Stretch Screamer series. I just thought that the people making Stretch Screamers were really washed up, and they were trying to try something new, but they were sucking at it. I also thought that they were, like, washed up when they made these as well. I was not. Little kids should not be like, oh, this company sucks, because they're just using the same things over and over again, and they're not very creative. But that's what I thought as a child. That is how much I was in love with these things. I wanted them to create original monsters, and they just didn't. So I was not a fan of the ooze. It kind of just got everywhere. You could only do it, like, I think they only gave you enough ooze to do it once. You had to buy, like, keep rebuying the ooze and series. They were the blister series, and you can see why my 5-year-old self was upset. because it is pretty much the same thing from Series 1. This was called the Blisters, whatever. They do have more than one area for, I don't remember how I got them to squish out, because I'm finding it really difficult to. But, I don't know, they're bulkier, they don't stretch as much. They stretch, though, and then they have, like, these fake blisters. They were called, like, the Stretch Screamers Blisters or something like that. Like, it was pretty cool. It's a lava guy, of course. Again, random blisters on his body. Not really sure why. And then there's this guy. His face is kind of freaking out and squished down. I'm not sure what kind of monster he was supposed to be either. These things were life back in the day. Did not play with dolls. Played with scary monsters that, like, exploded goo and stretched. It was a good life back then.